3, 2, 1.
Welcome to DPMF Live. Now meet our hosts.
Now, are you ready?
Good evening. It's the 2nd of February. It's Sunday night. It's time for DPMF Live, back with another fat one. Tonight, we are interviewing ex-possums from the XRPL, and we're going to deep dive into their little crown jewel. Dan, do you want to fill us in with the markets?
Okay, let me run through the introduction quickly so we go straight into the meat of it, because I'm sure most are aware there's been a bit of a tumble in the markets recently. So I'll fly through some prices, because Bitcoin is currently under $100,000, sitting at $98,440, down 6% on the 7-day. Ethereum ranked at number 2 is down to $2,965, which is down 11.2%. on the 7-day. XRP has taken a hit. It's down 14% on the 7-day and is priced in at the moment at $2.68. Tether's at number 5. Tether's at number 4. Solana at number 5 is at $205, and it's had the biggest of the top 10, I think, other than Dogecoin, actually, 19.86% drop on the 7-day. Number 6 is BNB, $628 with 8% drop on the 7-day. Ranked at number 7 is USDC, and then Dogecoin has had a big hit this week. It's down, let me just get it, 21.78%. So that's the biggest of the top 10. Cardano ranked at number 9 is 82 cents. Oh, sorry, I didn't say the price of Doge. Dogecoin's at 27 cents. Cardano's at 82 cents. Can't remember when that was like 2 cents. Now it's down and it's like 82 cents. Tron is at number 10 at 23 cents, and that's down 8% on the 7-day. Avalanche, for anyone into Avalanche, that's ranked number 12, they've had a 23% drop, but Avalanche has come up quite a lot. Come up a few ranks recently over the past few weeks. And so is Stellar. Stellar's now ranked at number 13, and they've had a 14% drop today. Stellar's at 36 cents. And I remember when there was a lot less than that as well. So yeah, there's your prices, Palace.
It seems like the whole market is absolutely bleeding at the minute. And if you're brave, there's some nice little bargains out there. I've picked up a few.
Trump coin.
No, not Trump coin. I don't touch Trump coin, but some of my little favourites. I'm not always here. So yeah, some of my little favourites like Velo, Jasmine, me Hulk coin, even XRP's down and quite a nice little bit. Anyway,
I checked the Velo for you actually. I think the Velo's got a bigger correction coming in, because I was going to buy some. So I looked at it. I was like, I'm going to give this a little bit longer.
Really? Oh, well, it's all interesting. All interesting.
Well, I look at the percent gains. So
yeah,
you know,
I'm always a hodler. Always a hodler. What gossip do we know about the markets at the minute then?
Probably just that it's a big correction. So, I mean, you've got Bitcoin obviously recently going over the $100,000, and XRP having like an 800% climb. You know, there's going to be a correction, and it's everything correcting together. I was expecting this kind of move when Trump was coming in. I was expecting it to be like the next day, but it seemed to have dribbled out a little bit longer. So yeah, just a correction. And in crypto, they're a bit more deadly, than like the Forex market per se. So you feel the pain a bit more, but no, if you look at most of the, I wouldn't say the same for Bitcoin actually. With Bitcoin, I got a different idea where that might be going in the future. But for some of the main net currencies, I think you'll get a deep correction and then a long-term follow-on. I think we've got deeper to go. I really do.
Right. So anyway, if you like what you hear, please, share the space. Please put some comments on. Please go to our YouTube channel. Please go to, the website. Listen to our other shows. They are awesome. And thank you, Raylene, for all the work you're doing behind the scenes. You're making us look a little bit professional. We've got X-Possums on tonight. X-Possums, is it, forgive me, I don't know your first name.
Yeah, so my name's Chris. Yeah.
Unlike your mic.
My name's Chris. I'm from Canada, and then I'm also my partner, Jason. He's my brother. And we're basically leading the show over at XRPL Awesome Possum.
We'll let you take the floor. Give us yourself from the start. And as you do that, I'm going to post some links of X-Possum in so people can catch up and look at your website while you're talking.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, awesome. So, my name's Chris. I guess Jason and I, we started XRP Awesome Possum. I guess it's about 4 years ago now. It's been a while, before, we even had NFTs on the ledger and the amendments came through. So, me and my brother, we grew up in the 80s, just loved collectibles from a get-go. We had all the G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and all that kind of stuff. And nowadays, all this stuff's, super expensive and, you wish you held on to it kind of thing, right? So, just with that in mind, I just love video games, growing up. I started out with Atari, Nintendo came out after that, and, Nintendo 64 on PlayStation, the graphics got better and better kind of thing. So when I heard about NFTs and stuff, I just had this crazy cool idea of how I can start implementing, just the metadata within the NFTs into video games, on top of, the websites and just the internet in general. So, I was into, internet and tech pretty huge back when I was in, high school, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. And so I, started building websites for the first time, and that just got me super excited, building, Magic the Gathering, sites with all the cards and all, the pictures and all that. And then now, with the XRP Ledger, I see, just, another layer on top of all the stuff that people are just going to be building on. And with the XRPL, it's all open source code too, right? Versus, a lot of the smart contracts with the EVM sidechains and stuff. So it's just it's a whirlwind. Oh man, so hard, where to even start, right? But, for me, Jason called me up and he's the crazy guy at Christmas dinner talking about Ethereum and all these NFTs and what they're going to do. And we're oh, okay, Jay, whatever, right? Just laughing at him. And then a year later, I'm oh, okay, taking a more serious look at it, into it. And then, sure enough, I was probably sitting there on a Sunday morning, he calls me up. He's hey, bro, I need a graphic designer because, I got into graphic design for probably 15 years working at a silk screen shop and stuff. After I got out of high school. And so he got me to do the graphics and stuff for X-Possum. And I'm oh, okay, let's do this kind of thing. So he had the name and everything all planned out for Awesome Possum. But then we were just going oh, X-Possum would be so good because I found this image of an Australian golden possum that was in the shape of an X. And of course, it'll be on XRPL. There's, X-Pepe, X-Bots, X-Punks. If you're a project starting out on the XRPL, you have to have an X in your name basically, right? So, so that's how we got in with X-Possum. And, just being, an old get-go guy from Atari days. I love Galaga and all the pixel art and just the old arcade style games and whatnot. So with my whole life too, I was probably since I was 6 or 7, I've always had this idea for this video game in my head that we're creating now because no one's done it yet. I thought, I'm 40 years old now and no one's come out with this game yet, and this should have happened by now, right? So maybe that's the message from the universe that I got to get off my ass and do it myself kind of thing. So me and Jason have been working hard, building community probably since probably 4 years ago. But I've been slowly putting together this story, this create your own adventure kind of story. It's almost a throwback to the 1960s, 1970s novels that you'd read. And you have a little paragraph, you read it, and at the very end you'd have 2 options that you can choose from, right? And I'm oh, it's so cool. Can you add a cool RPG element in there? You can level up, you can fight each other. And so I got this cool adventure mode in my head that I've always wanted to create kind of thing. And now with NFTs, it's you can even token gate some of those options. So if your X-Possum has a torch in the metadata, you'll be able to actually walk through that cave because it's dark kind of deal, right? So just having all these little links and stuff like that. So, people have their collections that they've been collecting through X-Possum for the last couple of years, but they don't really know the true value of the NFT until they start playing these video games. And people always talk about, what's the problem that you're solving? If you want to be successful, you have to solve these issues, right? And right at the beginning, I'm oh, that's kind of a problem for us because I'm just here to have fun. I want to be able people to use these NFTs, but as I was creating these over the years now, I think the problem is that all these people have these NFT collections in their wallets, but they have nothing to use them for, no actual utility, right? So with this game, we're not only using our own NFTs to plug into it to play, we're actually going to like utilize, I think we have 42 other projects on board now because it's all open source data. Like you can pick through someone's wallet and say, hey, you own an XPEP, cool, we'll give you this bonus in the game. Oh, hey, you got this rug token? Okay, well, we're going to make a rug like store, and then you can actually get benefits from it too, right? So we're actually start adding value to all these tokens that people just have in their wallets, and like no one's really taken that kind of stride yet, right? And it's always like, you got to like be in the silo. Like if you want to be successful, you have to wear this PFP and you have to look like everybody else. And it's like, I think there'll be some real value when we start actually building out projects and utility to really help the community as a whole. So yeah, that's basically the goal and the drive. And so like last year I had to like get back in the whole tech side of thing. And so I had to actually teach myself how to do JavaScript with all the holes that were in my like teching like knowledge kind of thing. So now I'm doing that. I put together my first demo last year. So if you want to go to our website, you can check it out. There's actually some like little Easter eggs and stuff in there because I actually wrote the story myself, right? So I don't know if anyone knows about the lore of the XRPL, but like you never see Vet's face kind of thing, right? Like it's just a mystery like what that guy looks like. But in my game, if you actually beat him up in the Coliseum, you get a chance to see his face. So go check it out. Yeah.
Wow, Chris, you've really not left me much room for questions there at all. You've virtually said the whole project in about 3 seconds. That's mad. But there are some questions I've got for you, and I do apologise if this puts you on the spot a little bit, but we like to deep dive into projects that come onto our space. So can you just tell me how many people have you got in your community at the moment?
Yeah, well, I'd say like solid community since the beginning, like maybe a good like 200, 300 people. And even with the demo game when I had it released too, like it was kind of like if you beat the demo, you get a little NFT sent to you, and that's going to have like more utility when you go for the full game kind of thing. So 22 people have beaten that like straight up kind of thing. They put the time in, probably spent a couple hours. So yeah, definitely have at least 22 hardcore dedicated people who are really excited to see the full game when it comes out. But I'd say like, yeah, there's maybe 1,000 eyes on us at a time. I know our main XRPL Awesome Possum account has I think 10,000 followers, but probably some of those are bots and stuff as well, right? But yeah, I'd say like a really solid like probably 500 people in our community.
Bloody bots are everywhere, aren't they? But hey, I'm really interested in if I was a newbie and wanted to find out more about possums, so I would find that on your Twitter space. I would find that on your Telegram. Have you got a Telegram group?
Yeah, we don't have Telegram, but we do have a Discord that we've been using forever. And I've been doing like a lot of MMORPGs, like massive online RPGs for probably like a couple decades now, and like ran guilds and stuff. So I've been on there probably for a long time now. So I'm just so used to Discord, and it seems like it's kind of a gamer's kind of choice too. So we feel comfortable with that, as well as just being on Twitter and X and just online with their website.
And forgive me if I've missed anything. So your game is it a Web3 game? Is it a website game, or go to an app, or what do I do?
Yeah, so it's just on the website. So I want this thing to be super easy, like almost as if, you're walking into a website for the first time in the 90s and you don't really know what's going on. Like your grandma could hop in and play it. And yeah, so basically I want to have it so you can be on your phone, you can be on your website, and also too, by being a Web3 game in the future, like there's all these metaverses and stuff popping up too. And for us to actually build a cabinet in a metaverse, just to pop in like a web reference with some text-based RPG will be super easy to do that. So like our long-term vision is once this game comes out, my next steps will be to actually build a metaverse arcade, so you can actually walk up to it like an arcade cabinet to play the game on a cabinet kind of thing. So yeah, I just want to be super web, super easy base, as long as you're not running Netscape or some crazy Explorer from like 10 years ago, you should be able to run it. So yeah.
And what will be the...
Sorry, Alex, I was just curious. What genre is the game? Is it an RPG?
Yeah, so it's kind of, I like to call it an XRPG, so it's like an XRPL based game. So I don't know, I almost kind of think of it, if like the Final Fantasy games, it's like a mixture between fantasy and like a science, like high tech kind of thing. So you could be like walking through a spaceship one moment, and the next you're in like a field of like mushrooms and some crazy people are trying to talk to you, and just like kind of doesn't make sense, like almost like a like Felix the Cat kind of vibe. But the thing too is like I also like within like this is kind of a nerdy side of thing, but with like I play like a lot of Dungeons and Dragons and these like tabletop kind of RPGs and stuff. And usually there's an issue when you get into the higher levels and you just get too strong kind of thing. And with most games, they always cap you out at like level 99, so you can never actually reach level 100 or even 1,000 or go beyond, right? And I always hated this idea. And with like numbers, it can go to an infinite number of like amount, right? So why not utilize this? And yeah, so have it so like, you know, like this first game that I'm going to do is like adventure mode is going to be like the first planet. And then if you want to do another world or whatever, you can have like a second planet with like harder enemies and just kind of up the difficulty level and add more story so that you can kind of keep the story progressing as well. So people never kind of lose interest and they always have something to kind of come back to kind of keep engaged as well.
Chris, I have a question for you. Originally, when you first came out, y'all introduced your token, the Possum token. And I think that was meant for people to exchange it for the actual NFT itself. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
So did y'all pick up those Possum tokens and burn them, or did y'all continue just to let them float in the market?
Yeah, so originally I think we had about 10,000 floating in the market, but we knew that there were some people that had like dead accounts or they collected the airdrop originally because I think we like donated, I think like 80% of the supply for free kind of thing because that's what you had to do to kind of engage with the community and kind of build it back in the day before there's even like meme tokens and NFTs and stuff, right? So we did that, and then at the end, because like we know there's this one wallet that still has, I think, like 100 XBot tokens, like 100 XPEP, and they're still sitting on to this day. So the chances of them coming in and burning them are very unlikely. So we actually reduced the NFT supply to 9,696. So there's that little bit, like there's that 300, like kind of like leeway in between there. So I think there's still like, I know like, I think my partner, like Shauna, she still has like 0.0003 X Possum in her wallet. Like, so there's still a lot of dust and stuff floating out there kind of thing, right? So we just want to make sure the people who were collecting got their NFTs, before, the IOU token phase shut down kind of deal.
So whoever has an IOU token, those are no good anymore. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct. I think we ended our minting session, I think it was like November 2023, so that was even like 2 years ago. Yeah, and that was before XRP Cafe was even a thing as well. We were minting on I think it was like on-chain marketplace at the time.
I see. You mentioned earlier when you first started to talk about your project that you were going to possibly take all these other unused tokens from other projects and maybe give them some value to it. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, maybe whoever does have those are XR Possum tokens, because some are still floating around. Maybe you give them value too, I guess. I mean, if you're giving somebody else's projects value.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, the like real use cases are endless, right? So I think it'd be kind of cool too to have like there's like pop up markets and stuff in the real world. To have pop up markets in the game, so like every month, like you could come into this like one little shop, maybe get like an NFT weapon to help yourself. You can buy it in like Zoj or XPEP, and like kind of really showcase these other projects on the XRPL, right? I think I just have so many ideas, and it's like, oh man, I can't wait to have you guys start playing these games and start utilizing. Because like, for me too, like this whole rug shop kind of idea for me too, like kind of came up because of I think it was like Happy Cats. It was like, as X Possum, we did like a little collaboration. We spent time talking to each other. Like I spent time doing the art and everything. And in the end, they end just rugging, right? And it's like, oh man. So now I got all these like tokens, I've actually have it on the blockchain. This like one NFT that's made, and it's like almost like dedicated to a rug project. So it's like kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And it's like, how can we turn this around and just make it a positive versus a negative? And I think doing something like this would really help the whole community and kind of shine light on kind of the darker areas of people getting scammed.
It's kind of like similar to the Ruggles project. I think y'all talk to each other, don't you?
Yeah, actually, on the tipper faucet, if you own X amount, if you own some of the X Possum tokens, NFTs, as well as some of the Ruggles tokens, you get a free faucet trip every day. So yeah, love those guys.
Oh, cool! Nice to hear that.
So tonight's show is brought to you by Fusion XIO, the baddest place to go and mint, sell, and buy your NFTs using any asset. Check that out. This space is recorded. We will be putting it on our YouTube channel and we will obviously you can go back and listen if you've missed any of the beginning. If you want to join in the space tonight, please put your hand up. We'll try and get you up. We like to encourage people to come and have a chat with us, and especially Chris and the Possum's project. Chris, what made you, and I always ask this question because I quite like to listen to developers and projects' responses, but what made you choose the XRPL as opposed to Ethereum, Solana, and all of that malarkey?
Yeah, so like originally I started collecting NFTs on Ethereum, and just the gas prices kind of threw me off. Just the prices of everything kind of threw me off. You know, you transfer something over and you have to wait 20 minutes, and I think something's wrong after the first 2 minutes if something doesn't go through, right? So just seeing the XRPL and it's like how fast it is, how efficient. It's like works on a consensus protocol, which I think will be really key in the future with like the way, that we want to start upscaling everything. And, just the cost, we were able to come on to the XRPL and start an IOU token for basically nothing and start building community on day one. And because of that, we are to where we are today. And, if we had this dump down $5,000 or something, it probably wouldn't have happened at the beginning. And it also kind of really inspired me to get back into coding, and this is a simple use case with JavaScript I think was a really pull towards me, and just what I want to do and how I'm going to get it done. And the support too is really great as well. And everyone I talk to on the XRPL, if you have some kind of passion or you want to get something done, there's 10 people that are really to stand behind you and help you out kind of thing. And I don't think I really felt that in other blockchains.
Absolutely. There is a massive community on the XRPL, and I'm trying not to be biased, but it seems like the chain that really is developing and changing and evolving, whereas some of the other chains not necessarily so. Right, talk me through. So I buy your Possum NFT, and then I will be able to use that Possum in your game that you're developing. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So there's a couple use cases I have for the NFTs that I'm not releasing yet because it's going to be kind of a secret when it comes out. But there's going to be stamina in the game. So the more XPossum we have, probably the more you'll be able to go within a day or something. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And also just the metadata too. So if you have one piece of metadata versus 6 on your NFT, the one with 6 will definitely have more use cases in the game. But this game too, also want to have it so it's free to play. You don't have to have these NFTs to come in and play if you want to come have a good time and learn about the XRPL and have something fun to do with it, right? So, I want to have it so it's free to play. So, you do see those 3-4 options at the end of your little, paragraph that you have to pick, but there's going to be one that's going to be blocked out. It'll be if I had this NFT with this metadata, I could do it. So maybe it might spark someone to go and look at the NFT for the first time and wonder what that actually is, or, kind of do a reverse on why they should be looking at these NFTs kind of thing. And also too, because I think we have 42 projects lined up as well, all the OGs on the ledger. So I'm actually going to incorporate their NFTs into the game too. So even if you have a bunch of parks, let's say, you'll be able, if you find a park area and hand in those NFTs, hand in quotations, you still have them, but you'll get a bonus in game. So it'll kind of pull in other communities to kind of come check out little areas within the game as a whole. And you can just have fun with all these collections that you've been sitting on for a long time, even if it's not XPossum. And one thing Jason and I have really wanted to do since the beginning was, once you do get your first NFT, we want to keep adding utility into the XPossum token until the end of time, right? Until the day we die. And, maybe someone will take on that flag and keep it going down the road kind of thing, because it is all open source code. And, so once you get your XPossum, man, we do giveaways in our Discord, I think if you're on the list as we minted out, and we actually gave you a free Gen 2. And so if you're an OG follower with us and believe in us, it's definitely pays back in dividends kind of thing. So get on the ground floor today and come fly with us tomorrow,
Awesome. So how many are on sale at the moment?
What's that, sorry?
I say, how many Possum NFTs are on sale at the moment?
Yeah, so I think with the main XPossum collection, because we have 2, that and the Gen 2s, the first collection, I know we do, I think there's maybe 3-4% on sale right now. So not that many. I have a huge collection just from sweeping the floors and stuff and trying to keep it up. And in our main project too, I think we have about 2,000 XPossum in there just for future delegations and giveaways for, years to come kind of thing. So we do try and keep that on a tight cap and then not give out too many so people just don't floor it kind of thing. But yeah, we got that. And then also too, we were supposed to have XRP Cafe switch over our mint for our Gen 2s today from, it was at 99 XRP, but we're dropping it down to 20 just with this recent hike in the XRP price. So that should be going live on Monday as well. So you can come get a fresh Gen 2 from XRP Cafe on Monday.
What can you do right now with the original XR Possum NFT?
Yeah, so we have a faucet drip going on right now at Tipper, and then also too we have giveaways and whatnot that are going on within our Discord too. So if you have one X Possum, you can get onto our regular spinner wheel, and then if you have up to 6 X Possum, you can get onto our platinum wheel. And we have NFTs from other collections and stuff on there as well as our Gen 2s.
Oh, okay. So that's everybody's just invited to go over to Discord and then share the wallet that you have the NFT. I guess you all verify.
Yeah, that's
the
correct.
Wallet.
Yep.
And yeah. Okay, great. That's good to know.
Yeah, and like we love doing like a lot of collaborations and stuff too, right? So we talk about like the Terror Teddies, we talk about community with like dudes and stuff. We're in with like the Rude Collection, the Rude Boys and Donnie and those guys. So it's just really cool because we went to like Jason and I and our partners, but we went to Apex last year as well in Amsterdam and got to shake hands with a lot of these higher ups that, you know, I kind of idolize, right? Like I almost got starstruck a bit when I was talking to Weedsy. It was kind of funny. And yeah, it's just kind of cool seeing all this kind of come together after all these years, and yeah, really build something really sweet for everyone to kind of have a good time.
If you've got a project and you want to get onto one of our spaces, please DM Live Free. He's the organizer. He's the organ grinder. He will organize your space so we can get you on. Chris, going back to X Possums, what made you choose possums? I mean, they're lovely little creatures and I get it, but what, is there any sort of reason for the choice of possum?
Yeah, well, I know Jason and I think he is like his wife or something was watching Rick and Morty and they said Awesome Possum. It's kind of stuck in her head. But there's like a lot of like, you know, frogs at the time. Everyone was wanting to be a bear or an ape. I'm like, man, that's kind of boring. Like, I don't like being like, you know, the same as everyone else. So I'm like, why don't we do some like nasty looking creature? Like, oh, possum. Like, that's perfect, right? And then I learned later that the lifespan of a possum is like 3 years kind of thing. I'm like, oh, that kind of works in crypto, I guess, right? But we're going way longer than 3 years, obviously. But no, yeah, it's just something that's like to stick out from the rest of the crowd and to be different and to take chances, and, you know, it's okay to be yourself and to show up how you want to kind of thing and not have to, you know, wear a certain uniform to kind of fit in.
Now, I'm going to admit something on a recorded space, and I'm sorry to say this, Chris, but I actually had 2 X Possums NFTs, and I just sold them away. I didn't know what was going on, and I so apologise for this. I've now got to try and get more NFTs back. So I do apologise, Chris, because I really wasn't aware this game was coming on and everything was going to develop. So it's quite interesting for me.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's happens to a lot of people too, because you see like our holders kind of go from like 512, like up 4, then down 4, and up 4, down 4 kind of thing. So it's definitely a battle, but just like trying to stay relevant and in the now has been so tough with all these meme coins that have been coming out. And of course too, like it's hard to be out and vocal all the time when I'm trying to be behind the scenes and developing at the same time. So wearing all these hats at one time is very difficult. But yeah, just be reassured, like I'm here for the long haul and I'm doing this out of like the passion of my love. Like I love this. This is like my calling in life, and I can't wait to kind of keep like this game. Like I already have like a space game in my head that I got going on. I'm like, okay, Chris, like slow down, you know? So, yeah, but you know, like you guys, I know for a fact you guys will still be looking at X Possums in like 10 years from now, and you'll be like, oh man, like I remember when that first started out and stuff. And I think that's my like real goal in the end is like people being appreciative of, you know, the journey that we've taken over the years and not just, you know, those quick grabs at cash and all that kind of stuff, right? So, you know, have you sold? And that's fine. That's the game, you know, it's secondary market. I'm sure someone got a great deal on them, and, you know, there's always more to kind of grab. So, yeah, we're just going to keep building and keep rocking.
Yeah, so please accept my apologies. I was wrong to have done that. So, going back to you and what do you see developing in the next sort of 6 months? Obviously you got this game, but is there anything else in the pipeline that you can tell us about?
Yeah, so originally, like, I brought the demo out last year just to kind of give people a taste of, like, what I got cooking up, because I've been doing this probably for, like, the last 3 years, right? So it's kind of hard to get it all out there and not give away too many secrets and stuff. But I'm definitely going to be, I think we got Singapore lined up this year, so we'll be flying into Amsterdam there and talking about more of the development side of things. And I basically just have to create, like, 3 things. I got to finish the game, like, finish, like, the ending, like, side notes of the because like, the problem with these create your own adventure games is like when you make one instance, it creates 2 more options, so you have to somehow try and weave it all together, kind of thing. In the end, at the ends kind of get frayed out. So I got to finish that. I got to make my XRPL like coder function that reads the wallet, and then I got to build a server that basically saves all the data. And I basically have almost all 3 of them finished right now, but it's just a matter of putting together and then getting the beta test together. So maybe not 6 months down the road, but I'm definitely hoping within like 8-10 months that the beta is going to be ready for release for people to try out, so that in 2026 we can just like start blazing with all the guns and just have a good time.
Awesome. Now, I'm not sure if you've listened to many of our spaces, but every project we get on, we ask them a question that we put to the next project. Hint, hint, Wes. So basically, I want you to think of a question that we can put to the next project. Can be crypto related, business related, whatever you fancy. But now Wes has got the question from next week. Go for it, Wes.
So this was from I Trust Capital, James Rule XRP, and this was on from last week. And he's asked simply, when is the Ripple lawsuit going to end?
Wes, man, you got a lot of static or something. We can barely hear you. Can you?
I think I got it.
Reorganize your speaker?
When's the lawsuit going to end? Right? Yeah.
Do I sound any better now, please?
Yes, you sound much better.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So this is from I Trust Capital, from James Rule XRP from last week, and he's asked, when is the Ripple lawsuit going to end?
That is a great question, and I know the answer. I know it. It's going to be 2025. Let's go. Yes.
Hey, there it is. I like your
honestly,
conviction.
if I had to guess though, what month, maybe this month, I would probably say in the next 1 or 2 months, I could see it happening. Just all this talk about ETFs. I heard about Canada starting their own spot ETF today, and if the SEC are still in lawsuit with Ripple, I don't think they can move forward with all these the banks and stuff, right? So I think it's going to come to a halt pretty quick.
There's been a massive change from Trump and all of his new executive orders, and the whole ethos behind crypto is suddenly changing, and I think we're in the right place, if that makes sense.
So you guys want the question for next week?
Are you ready already?
Wait, let me get my pen. I'm not ready. One moment, people.
Wes, are you ready? Go on then, go for it.
Yeah.
I was going to be, where do you see yourself in 3 years, and will Metaverse be implemented in your project?
Wow, where do you see yourself?
This is the most painful part, Chris.
Sorry. In 3 years.
The Wes, write it down.
And will Metaverse be a part of your project?
That's correct. Yep, you got it.
Yeah, that's a great question. Metaverse. Part of it. I think it's going to, just off the cuff here, I think it is. Imagine trying clothes on without going to the shop, with a VR headset, things like that in the Metaverse.
Well, it's crazy too, because I was going to the store the other day, Best Buy, to go get some computers and stuff, and I had to go online. I'd go home, order online anyway, and they had to order it from another big store anyway. So I might as well have just put on a VR set, and they could have not even hired the people down at the store and just hired a bunch an online team, and everyone could just go to one spot, ship it from Chicago, wherever you got to go, and be done with it.
That's the crucial part as well. It relieves jobs, doesn't it? And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but it is the inevitable way that things are going in society. It's technology.
You've got XR and MR, which is already becoming quite common, where you would look through an augmented reality at clothes, shoes. You look down at your own foot, and you wouldn't have a shoe on, and then you could see what the brand of shoe would look like where you're not actually wearing it. A digital representation looking through, a phone, a pad, or a
I don't know. That kind of seems kind of tough to be shopping for shoes, because you can always go to a shoe store and get 3 or 4 different, let's say, styles of shoes, and they're all the same size, 9.5 wide or 10.5 wide or whatever. But when you actually put them on, they do not feel the same. So I don't know about shopping for clothing.
Well,
on the Metaverse, to me it seems, maybe I'm an old fogey or something, but to me it seems I'd rather get that physical item and try it on, or else there's going to be a lot of returns. Kind of like the way Amazon suffers a lot of returns.
Oh, they've got no issue with returns now. They've got Drone Army. But but you would have with that capability, not only would you just wear the shoe, you could also measure your foot more down to like the millimeter, where you probably wouldn't have ever done that before. But yeah, now looking through with XR and MI, you would actually measure the exact size of it.
As long as it's not like when you was a kid and your mum took you to Clark's and it was a painful experience. That was horrible. That was traumatic, in fact. It might be nicer for kids. Just put the VR headset on, kids. We go in shoe shopping, and they'd actually like to do it then. We get it ordered dead easy.
I've pulled, just so you're aware, Palace, I pulled up Jay as a speaker. I don't think you can see, I don't know if it's him or her, so I apologise. Jay, so if you want to open your mic and ask a question, we'll give you a second.
Hey. What's happening? Thanks for having me on.
Yo, Jay.
What's up, Gork? I just wanted to pop in here and say hello to everyone. And also, see how you been, Gork? And Jason, Chris and Jason, how you guys been? My question is, 2024 is behind us now. What were some highlights, lessons learned? And now into 2025, what kind of intentions, if any, have you set for the year?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah. So, man, 2024, I think it was probably like the best year of my life. I feel like 2025 is going to be even better. Putting together a little demo game really helped me frame like how I should go with the huge game kind of thing, and really kind of give me like the skeletal work to get it together to actually like put my foot forward kind of thing. So with that in mind, I feel so confident going forward in this year, and I'm committed to going to Singapore. I'm committed to the XRPL. I am committed to actually have this group where I'm like actually talking to them once a week, and just telling them my progress within like coding within the XRPL. So actually these guys have no idea what's going on with the functions and stuff, but I'm telling them anyway. And they say like, when you're walking your path, you'll probably come up to some of your biggest fears in life. And that is so true, man. Like I have so many doubts about what I've been doing the last couple of years, but I know with like this XRP army behind me that I'm going to like fucking slay the dragon and get the job done. And 2025 is going to be the year. So let's go.
Let's go. That sounds great. How about you, Jason? I don't know if you're on, but...
Yeah, I think he's down below, but it's the same sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are channeling the same energy, so I think it's okay.
Well, I love those questions
Good to hear.
because like people always say like, what are you committed to and stuff like that. And usually within, it's like, oh, I had my New Year's resolution, and then by now it's like kind of petered out kind of thing, right? But I've gotten so much done in January, and it's not the fact that it's like a New Year's resolution. It's just, this is what I'm here to do kind of thing. And I'm just so excited for the rest of the year to get this built and have people play it and enjoy it. So yeah, super fun.
Yeah, I think there's something to, the new year and the surge of energy or momentum that it brings. And, I know that some people don't care to do New Year resolutions or intentions or whatever, but it's a good time to just reflect on what you've done and where you're at and see where you want to go and ride that momentum and set some good intentions for the year.
So, Chris, is there anything that we haven't asked you that you feel your community should know about, or anyone new wanting to know about your project should know about?
Yeah, just come be an NFT holder and be part of the community. And if you want to start learning, there's, I think, not a better place to do it. It's a safe place to ask questions, and you can start from the ground up kind of thing. I mean, there's a lot that I don't know personally, so maybe you asking questions might help intrigue me to learn more about certain areas of the XRP Ledger that I don't know about. But the best way to get involved is, to hop in. So come have some fun and maybe learn about decentralized finance, or if you want to take the lighter side of things like me, and come play some video games. So yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything for everybody.
And obviously, apart from your project, is there any other projects on the XRPL you're particularly fond of?
Okay, I gotta shout out to my boys, the Daimyos, just because they actually have like my own artwork as a collab within their project. It's an XRPL like blockchain gaming project right now on Discord. So you basically battle these giant robots for screws. You can actually take your screws and sell them off for XRP if you want, or do upgrades and stuff. So to me, like, that is the epitome of like cool blockchain gaming, and I love those guys. So yeah, hats off to the Daimyos.
Awesome.
Yes, they're a pretty cool group. We've actually interviewed them. They've come on board and talked about their project. So yeah, absolutely, totally agree with that. Excellent project.
Yeah, there's so many too, because I know there's XPepe, like there's Pepe Link, who's been around for a while. There's even Cousteau too, who runs the Power Zerps as well, and he actually runs a UNL validator, XRP, and yeah, there's like so many great gems on the XRPL. It's so hard to name them all, but I see you guys. Keep rocking.
Could I ask quickly, please, what's some of your favourite games? I'd like to start. You say you're from the 80s. I love Half-Life. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, so honestly, like, I'm playing Civ since the day I came out. I think Civ 7's about to come out, and like, I don't know, they're charging like $120 for the thing. I'm like, oh man, I gotta wait till it comes on discount. But there's that. There's like, I don't know, I love playing Final Fantasy, like saving my game for the first time on Nintendo. That changed my life forever. I love Mega Man. I love Galaga. Like, I love those old school like arcade games where it's all about the high score. So I love pinball games and stuff like that too. So yeah, just anything, like any like new game I love, like the new aspect and just the thought that it takes to kind of build a different way of thinking for a game just kind of baffles me. So I just love trying new stuff.
You looking forward to the new Doom that's coming out?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, man, that changed my world. That when that came out on the old, I think I had a DX286 or something, and it would just changed my life.
Yeah, I remember getting into Doom and Quake and all those games. It was a lot of fun. Like, I still playing like multiplayer and hearing like this ting 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 sound. Like, I think I hear it in sleep. So.
I'll tell you what I don't miss though. I don't miss the sound of the modem. I really don't. That's a nice advancement that we've made.
But it's so cool because, like, you know, like nowadays too, like everyone's all worried about like graphics, and you have to have this certain like, oh, what's the newest graphics to have a good game? But I think people are kind of missing the basics and stuff, right? So I kind of want to do like almost like a renaissance call of hitting back these old school RPGs back when like Dungeons and Dragons made their first digital game, and just how much fun you could have with these stats and these characters that you kind of put your time into over time, and building like little festive like Christmas games and stuff so people can come and actually play these characters that they've put their time in over the years and not just lose it kind of thing. Oh yeah, and one thing too I wanted to say as well, like with the game, like I always love like playing these PlayStation games with memory cards and stuff like that, because you can actually save your file from one game and pop it into the next one. So with these mutable NFTs that are coming out within the XRP Ledger, what a great, good timing for this is when you beat this game, you'll get this NFT with all of your stats on it. So, but if you beat the game again, you can get the same NFT, but it's just going to upgrade the stats. So you can kind of keep upgrading your character on this little adventure mode. And then when you want to play the second game, rather than losing all that information like you would in a regular game, you can take it over with you and kind of keep your character playing so that you never have to start at zero ever again.
Massive upgrade, Chris. Well noticed. Yeah, massive upgrade, especially for NFTs. I wanted to ask, in fact, I wanted to point out, I've just so everyone's aware, I brought Spec and G-Dude up. And to add, Wes always asks what people's favourite games are, and then he'll tell you his favourite game, and it's never been the same. Just so not one.
That is very true. I definitely do that.
When you listen regularly, Wes, you play a lot of games. Sorry, Chris, I wanted to ask, because you've answered a lot of questions, especially from the start that I wanted to ask. I'm looking at the merch on your website, and I think the merch looks absolutely awesome. How much is the merch going for?
Yeah, well, I think we have some hoodies on there. We're going for like about $40 or so, but I know it's through XRPL merch. So all the prices were set, I think, like probably 2 years ago now. But yeah, I think you can get like t-shirts for like, $18, $20 kind of thing. You can get like mugs and whatnot as well for like $20, $15. So they're actually like kind of heat changing ones. So it goes from like black to white, white to black kind of deal. So I got a couple of those. Yeah, one merch thing that actually isn't on there that we had made too is with, was it the anti-social media, and they actually made these little skateboards, and we actually collabed with them. So we got these little X-Possum skate decks made up, and my buddy Joey from back in the day used to love playing with those things, so I got one made up for him for like Christmas kind of thing. So I just kind of gave it to him, like all X-Possum labeled up, and he was just over the moon. So definitely want to make some more merch kind of deals, but it's just kind of the basic stuff that you can get on XRPL merch. And also too, there's this Hada at DAO NFT collection, and they made this one collab of the X-Possum, and within the image they actually had this like little toque, like beanie X-Possum that looks super cozy, and I'm like, oh, like we gotta get that made up, right? So I currently have this crocheter friend of mine who is working on it at the moment, so hopefully we'll get that into production in the next year or so too.
I mean, maybe you could run some competitions in your game to win some of the merch. And did you hear that, Dan? X-Possums have got merch. Why haven't we got?
I did. I was looking at it while he was talking. I like the mug. I think out of everything I'm looking at, the mug.
I don't just want a mug. I want a gilet. I want a cap. I want a hoodie. I want a.
Knowing you want a bloody car.
Yeah, and that.
No, yeah, I was looking at the merch, and I think the mug's my favourite. I'm actually tempted to buy one as I'm looking at it. I mean, yeah, it'd be a pretty cool mug to have with the NFT on. Big fan of it. Oh, Chris, sorry, I know Spec and G-Dude are up here. I just wanted to confirm, is it just you and your brother? You don't have additional team members involved? Is it just you two?
Yeah, it's just us two. So Jason, like when we first started, like we both have full-time jobs and whatnot. And so he was more of the Twitter like promotion side of things and talking and doing the posts in the morning. Like he still is on the XRPL like main account kind of deal. And I'm more like the tech kind of side, the artistic. So I'm more the background kind of guy. So together, yeah, we just make a killer team to get the job done.
Got you. Well, good work to both of you. Well done. I don't know if you can see Palace, but I'll let Specs come up. So I'll let Spec ask away. I'll give you the floor, Spec.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for bringing me up. Jay, it's nice to hear your voice, and everybody else's, of course. You got a big crowd in here, and I know a lot of us support DPMF and also Gork. And honestly, I wasn't sure what I wanted to ask because, you know, he said 200 to 500 community members, and I know that number to be much higher. Whether they actually own the NFTs or not, they have a solid base of multiple community members. I don't know how you got through this, Gork. I don't know if you envisioned something. I know you're nervous when you talk in front of people. But you did extremely well. And your project, you and your brother, you've been really humble through it all. And I think everybody has heard your attitude and through the markets over the past 2.5, 3 years and more that y'all have been involved. I think it would be a disservice to anybody getting on the XRPL, thinking of beginning their own project, not to hear from somebody with your experience and your enthusiasm and how to be successful, at least in the smallest ways, and not deal with all the headaches that so many projects are dealing with.
Do you know, that's some of the nicest comments I think I've ever heard. Spec, really nice comments. Thank you very much. Before you respond to that, Chris, can I just ask, can you get your own X-Possum put onto your t-shirt, your mug, your hat, or whatever? Can you do that?
I don't know if you can do customs. I think it's just one, but you might be able to send them in and do it. Like, it's pretty easy within the XRPL merch website. I've never actually tried it myself, but we could find a way. There's always a way.
I was just thinking out loud, that might be a way to you know, make people's NFTs, you know, more sort of personal, if that makes sense. But yeah.
What, now because you ain't got one?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go.
Because you sold yours.
Yeah, I can't believe I sold it. I can't believe it.
We should troll Crypto Palace, get his sold NFT, get it on your mug, Dan, and drink coffee from it every morning and take him a picture.
Oh yeah, just to rub it in, like 2-0, Wes, 2-0, 2-0.
2-0.
Join Dan's club, you know, that get beat by Palace every week.
Can't believe it. You've done us twice now, haven't you? You've got the rights, mate.
Chris is probably wondering Chris, we're talking about soccer. Soccer? Do you know soccer?
Yeah, football. Yeah.
Soccer.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. do you know how bad Man United are doing by any chance?
I was always a Liverpool fan, so watch out, right?
Well, Chris, do you want to respond to that lovely comment that you had from Spec before I completely interrupt?
Yeah, just Spec's a G, man. He's such a cool guy. I mean, so much comes from him too, right? Like talking from the heart always. But yeah, it's been tough, like going through these last few years and the ups and downs and the SEC lawsuit and everything. But I think for us, it's like we've always had this vision of what we want to do and what we're here to do, and we're going to get it done. And it doesn't matter what the chart's doing, whether it's going up, going down, going sideways, doing flips, whatever. We got a job to do, and we're going to keep building for, years to come kind of thing. So kind of going through the ups and downs is just, not really a big deal when you kind of look at the bigger picture and kind of scan out, right? I think a lot of people and projects now are always looking for that quick flip or, I'm not successful this week, so how can I be successful next week? But you just have to keep putting in the time and keep taking that step forward if you want to be successful. And it's on those hardest days that you have to take that step forward that's going to make you successful. And if you don't, that's when you truly fail.
I mean, this last 3 or 4 years has been really tough. Anyone who survives this 3 or 4 years is going to do well, because the lawsuit, there's been so much FUD. There's been so many problems against the XRPL and XRPL projects in particular. It's been really hard, isn't it? Really hard. But with this avalanche and this wave of new people coming on to crypto and coming on to the XRPL, if you're around, you're going to ride that wave, aren't you? And that's what you got to do. So I think we've got good. Is it Dude? I'm really murdering this name. Help me out, Dan. Who's this guy?
Yeah, Dude. The floor's yours, mate.
Hey, appreciate it, fellas. Thanks for having me up. G's fine. Thank you. The G is
he'll get that wrong as well. He'll get a single letter wrong, mate. He mispronounces everything.
Yeah, I had to upgrade it. I didn't want there to be any confusion as to who I was, so I appreciate you bringing me up. Thank you guys so much. I don't really have a question for Gork. I'm very familiar with Awesome Possum and the brothers, and I'm kind of upset. I wish you would have brought me up before Spec, actually, to not repeat everything that he said, but Possums was the first NFT I purchased with that token on the XRPL. So my adventure with them started as like a consumer or a fan of the art to, those brothers are very inspiring. They're probably the most humble people that you will meet, the realest people that you will meet in this space. And that's really cool. That's really sincere. Their doors open for everyone, right? I've learned a lot from them. They've kind of picked me up when I was down. Like, they're, how would I say that, guys? What's the best way to say that? We're all very active with each other. So, XRP is very tight knit. I would say the core community is probably family-like. Look at the speakers you have up here. These are all people that we talk to regularly, right? This is just another conversation for us, but now we get to share the excitement with the monk. So that's really cool. For me, it's an honor to talk with you guys, but it's really cool that you're talking to the possums. I couldn't say enough about Gork. You guys got me nervous and speechless, but yeah, I could sing Gork's praises all day.
Don't be nervous, man. Listen, it's nice to show the love, and it means so much to see it, to be, other people, members who aren't paid, they've got no ulterior motive. What they're saying is from the heart, and it's nice to hear it, and that it goes a long way to say what a great project you must be, Gork and your brother. So well done to you guys.
Yeah, where's words out of my mouth? I was going to say either Gork's out a lot of cash here to get people up, or he's got a damn behind him.
I was just going to say that. Now you could send me that $20, Gork, because $20 is still $20.
Get out of here.
But no,
Gork, send me that XRP you promised.
Yeah,
Where's he gone? Oh no, Chris. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Dan and Livfrey and Wes, have you got any questions?
Yeah, actually, I have two questions for Chris. One is, where did you get the name Gorkenheimer? Gorkenheimer. Where does that come from?
Okay, so my last name is Goretski, like Goretski. And so back in high school, I used to be like Gretzky, Gorksky, like Gorsexky, like any of the G, right? And so originally it was Gorkzilla, because that's what I go for, just because I was a huge fan of Godzilla. And so I kind of put the two together. And then, I think it was like maybe 2 years ago now, or a year ago, X banned me. So I was like, screw that, I gotta make a second account. So I made Gorkenheimer the second. And then it's like at Doppelgorker. So it's just kind of like a play on words kind of thing. So I want to make my first name sound super fancy and important. So I thought Gorkenheimer was just nailed it. Yep.
Cool. That's interesting. It's kind of reminds me of, how sometimes we have our emails, and we have those emails since we were kids, and we have these dorky names for our emails, but we still use them even on a professional basis. It's like, what the hell is this email address, connected to this professional individual? It's just fine. It's funny that we stick to our guns. We fall, or we attach ourselves to an idea or a theme or something, and we just carry it on through life. My second question to you is more of, just kind of mentioned about, we've had these tough 3-4 years, going through the bear and all this, the lawsuits and stuff like that. What, I know you mentioned you were in Canada. What are your thoughts right now as a Canadian, of what's going on with this tariff war, shall we say, with the United States? What does the citizen in Canada think right now?
Yeah, well, as the tariffs are kind of coming up too, like we're starting to actually see even like prices of groceries and stuff start to go up kind of thing. So we're even getting warnings now, like you should probably be shopping Canadian because it's going to be cheaper, and you're going to start noticing the prices on the shelves, right? So yeah, like I hopefully, they're more the financial side of things. Hopefully they know what they're doing by putting these tariffs into place and helping the economy out, right? But yeah, like I'm so focused. I'm like such a creative, like daydreamer kind of guy. I'm like, the world's going to fall apart whether I care or not kind of thing. So I'm just going to focus on what I got to do, and yeah, kind of let them do their bit. But yeah, I think it's going to help in the end, like hopefully keep taxes down and stuff for the Americans. But as a Canadian, I'm sure we'll be paying more so than we would be before.
It doesn't really matter, does it? But XRP goes 589, does it? Livfrey?
Well, go. I hope XDX goes 589. Forget the XRP. XDX would be better.
And that. Dan and Wes, Livfrey, have you got any more questions?
Oh, I just want to say like one thing, which I think is kind of funny with the whole like American
awesome,
coming in and the whole like buying Canada thing. I think that's a really funny idea because we're in a mode of reconciliation right now because the British coming in and taking all the land from the natives in the first place. And it's for us to go and just kind of sell that off to the Americans is like so hypocritical. And I don't think it'll ever happen. And like what happens to all the, like the rights stuff these natives have within the Canadian government, like when we sell it to the States is all like get wiped out. Like there's going to be so many issues. And like I think it'd probably end up in more rioting than anything if like we sold Canada kind of thing, right? I don't think you could sell land like that to people. Like I don't know, it seems kind of wrong in my eyes. Even though we took it away from the natives, right?
Well, you know what? And the natives took it away from other natives, and so on and so on and so on. There's always, I mean, land doesn't just easily transfers. Usually, it's conquested by from somebody else. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. And I totally agree. I don't think Canada will ever be a part of, shall we say, an American system, just like they were saying Mexico was going to be part of the American system. I don't think so. I mean, you'd have to have some major thing go on, like some sort of war, or to where now 90% of the countries were destroyed through war, and somehow they have to beat up. So I don't think that's somewhere in the cards. But funny things, there are there's psychics. Some psychics even before all of this has come up did mention that the American continent, the North American continent, will be as one country united. Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. Just something to note. So it has been talked about by psychics before. Funny thing. But I don't know. I think in the real world, I think right now, I just can't see that happening. There's, people are just politically so diverse. It's hard enough just for the American just to the United States to, to get its act together. I can't believe, you bring the Mexican culture and the Canadian culture, I don't think that's going to happen.
Spec, I think you had your hand up, my friend. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's always difficult to kind of talk politics, and I know I'm in the U.S. and Gork's in Canada, and I'm not going to say a whole lot, but I saw a post earlier that made me think of this, and Gork, I am in favor of y'all keeping Canadian bacon, and we'll keep the regular bacon down here.
Deal.
Deal. No matter where you go, there's always a north-south divide, isn't there?
Bacon is bacon. Chris, thank you very much for coming on tonight. It's been a blast. You've been amazing. Your project sounds even more interesting now than when I did have it in the last place. So I apologize. I'm going to go and get myself a Possum NFT. Thank you for coming on. It's been really interesting listening to your world, and we hope you come back again soon, and then we'll have another chat. But like I said before, if you're a project out there and you want to get on our space, please just DM Live Free. He's the organ grinder. Thank you, Chris. Take care, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and be back for next Sunday, 8 o'clock. Take care.